Hi, I'm Phil Cook with a couple quick tips for church and ministry leaders. You know, in my book, Maximize Your Influence, which if you don't have, you need to get, because it's really a reference book to help a ministry church leader understand how the digital revolution has changed everything. And one of the chapters in there is what you should expect from a church website. I find this so important because so many churches have outside vendors who build their websites, and I can't believe how poor the service is, how poor this team is, and yet churches continue to put up with it. Let me give you a quick list of how to deal with your website if you're a church or ministry. First of all, you ought to be able to manage it in-house. If that outside vendor has to post pictures, they have to make changes, you got the wrong vendor. You need to have someone, even if you use a designer and builder from the outside, they need to build it so that someone in your church, a communications person, even a secretary, could update the website anytime they want to. Also, the online donation engine should work. So many churches call me and say, Phil, our online donation feature hasn't worked in months. Let me tell you, that's crazy. You're just closing the door on people that want to support what you're doing when that doesn't work. It shouldn't even go down for an hour. You need to make sure your donation engine, whatever app, whatever program they're using, is always working. You should be notified immediately when something goes wrong. I actually worked with a church a few years ago that said, when something goes down on our website, it usually takes 3 months for them to get back to us. What? You should know immediately within the hour if something goes wrong on your website. And let me tell you something else. Your website should work beautifully on mobile devices. Let me tell you, today we have what's called responsive architecture on websites, which means it doesn't matter if you look at it on a computer, a phone, a tablet, whatever, it should look fantastic. And also the last thing I'd say is be skeptical about maintenance fees. Certainly website companies need to make a living in order to keep updating and fixing and, working on your design, changing it, whatever. But the truth is, if they're charging you outrageous fees all the time and not doing much, be skeptical. The world has changed when it comes to your church website. Chances are a high school kid in your church could probably build one and run one for you. We need to rethink how we view church websites because they need to be always on, always working, and be something that supports the church, not takes away from the church.